Hello, everybody. I'm back with some more free business consulting info. So I'm just going to start. What's a good way to bridge the gap between you having finished setting up your business and your first sale? Excuse me, how do you make your first sale? Just a little segue I just want to put in real quick. I'm reading off of essays that I've typed up very, very quickly over the course of many, many months. And what happens is the wording and the spelling is off at times, so that could mess up the flow of me speaking. So there's times I might have to reread things. I'm also going to segue a lot on different points as well. That's something I do when I see the opportunity to segue. And the very next few sentences I read might actually be what I just segued into. Maybe not the exact wording, but so there's going to be some repeat stuff and some jumbled up wording. So I just want to say that in advance why I'm literally speaking the way I am, because I'm actually reading from an essay I wrote where I was giving out free consulting info. So, and then I also do marketing, and I'll talk about that later. So back into the information. So I said, AKA, how do you make your first sale? So what I said next was, do you have a plan or method of marketing? Do you seek your clients and customers? Do you seek them with outreach like calls, emails, text messages, messages outside of text, as in even on social media? Or do you show up in person and pitch? Do you know where to find them, whether it's online or in person or in certain locations? Excuse me. Do you attract them to you with publicity and awareness, such as advertisement campaigns online, in person, group pages on social media, with sites, on group pages on social media sites or specific niches, or your own page, obviously, on a social media site or your own website or a blog? Do you have or do you just do content in general and then wire them to it? Like with a link in the bio, or you have certain content, or even all your content could have to do with maybe the niche of that, and then you would link them to that, provide them with a link to that somewhere that's visible. Do you do a mixture of both seeking and attracting? So are you doing outreach and also having ads or social media growth and brand awareness also pull people to you over time as well? So you have traffic flowing from both methods. Do you post content or showcase value for an audience to help them and pique their interest and possibly lead them towards you for more value and monetized value you can offer, so kind of like what I just said in a way. Are there certain social media platforms or forums or places to find contact info that will have more carryover for you finding your customers who can get value from your offer? So it depends on what you're selling, but it's probably more likely going to be in the B2B space where you may, for example, I do marketing. I want to market for a company, and I'm going through a list of companies that I've gotten down their email or phone number and or their social media, and I'm sending messages on social media, or I'm calling, or I'm emailing, and I'm asking to talk to either the CEO or the marketing manager, so I can now try to get into a conversation with them about how I'm offering advertisement services, and I like to tell them what I can do to help them if they're open for that, right? So I'm trying to get their contact info, is basically like what I was saying, right? Excuse me. Or even a text message to do that, if that's a route you want to take as well, or maybe you do all those mediums. It's really up to you. You're trying to push volume and make sure they get the message no matter what, right? It's up to you how you plan to do that. All of these things you have to figure out exactly what is applicable to you, and then you need to start assorting a plan. Maybe I didn't mean to say the word assorting. You need to start sorting and strategizing a plan with that data and or multiple plans. So again, you figure out exactly what is applicable to you. What are ways that you can market? What are ways that you are willing to market? What are ways that you can probably market at higher volume? What are ways that you're willing to stick to long term? More the better. But like, if you find something that works better for you, like, and you're willing to stick to it and figure out a way to get up every single day or routinely when it's scheduled and make sure you get it done, figure out that, and you figure out a plan on how you're going to go about it. When I was email marketing, I have time where I sit down and collect tons of emails. Now there's different ways you can go about. Now I'm kind of segueing a little bit. Different ways you can go about it. A lot of people talk about lists of 100. That's very, very good, and that's a very good idea. Lists of 100 emails and lists of 100 numbers if you're cold calling, right? And what happens is you cycle through that list, and what happens is anytime there's so many calls that can go unanswered. So what happens is you maybe don't call back the same day unless they're so open. Maybe you could, if they literally did not answer and you didn't leave a voicemail, yeah, you could try back the same day if they're still open. Try not to call in early hours in the morning. Like, I've already made that mistake when calling certain places, and that there's people who responded well to that, but they were just wondering why I was calling so early. And then there's people that I was calling law firms, by the way. So these people, there was literally times that I got cussed out by CEOs because it wasn't just other lawyers who might have been there. The CEO themselves could have been there sitting, waiting to pick up the phone to call, answer calls from actual people in need who need a lawyer, literally. And then they get a call from a marketer who, and I wasn't trying to say like, oh, like, I want to pitch to you right now. I was just, my whole thing was that I'm not, if they have time right now, that would just come later in the conversation, but I'd immediately get to the point, not try to waste their time and be respectful, which a lot of them thank me for. And most of these interactions went well, but I'll just tell you, I say, hey, I'm calling to offer marketing services, and I don't want to hold you up right now. I know this is because I was already experienced, like calling early, and I explained to each person. When they ask me why, when they get to asking me why, I say, well, I have a day job that I'm going to go to in like 20 minutes. And when I get out of work, you guys aren't open. And I actually could have emailed you, or found another way to message you. But like, I didn't want to at least speak to someone on the phone, because that's just a more rapid way to be able to get a hold of you. And then I could just tell you in a few seconds what my offer is, and then we could schedule for a better time. But I just know that, like, with having the experience of having sent hundreds, if not thousands, of emails, not hundreds of the same person, but let's say I have a list of 100. I've known what it's like to send email, get maybe a response from 2 of those people, and not get a response from the rest 100 for the next like month or two. So what happens is I'd have a list of 100, but I cycle, and then what happens is I'd only resend an email like every like 3 to maybe 5 days, and restructure the wording of the email. But I've known what it's like to outreach a ton and get just barely any response. The responses would be no's, and maybe like out of like literally 1,000 emails, I might get 1 yes, tell me more, or get a maybe, tell me more. And then if I'm cold calling, I can just hear the no immediately, or I can hear the, yeah, let's talk about it more immediately. And I'm not here to sell you right now. I'm just here to tell you I do offer these services, and I'd like to talk to you at an easier time for you. If you're, I know you're busy, so like, just tell me a time that can work for you, or email me, or I'll email you, and then we could talk about a time, so that I'm not like invading any of your time right now. Like, I'm trying to be respectful, but I do want to offer you help. So I try to figure out some type of wording like that, right? Now what happens is they just weren't, a lot of them weren't respond. A lot of them didn't care at all. and was even fine. It's just like it was another call to them, but some of them had a lot to say about that. Like, oh, how dare you call this early in the morning? There was some of them who even said like, yo, I already got your call. Like, why do you keep F wording, calling me F word, other swears, blah blah blah, cussing out. But I did get your call, and what the thing is, you shouldn't be calling this early. So the problem is that you're calling early, but just don't call back again. I'll get back to you. I'm very busy. I'll get back to you, but um, the problem is actually that you called too early. You should have called back later today. Then this would have been fine. So it's like literally people even saying that, like cussing me out and then saying, by the way, I'm actually interested, but why are you calling so early? That actually very much pissed me off because I'm in the middle of so many things right now. So literally that was like the Crow Pit was calling early. So blah blah blah. That's just me talking about the strategy and segueing a little bit too much on that point. Maybe not too much. Maybe that's good for people to hear so they don't make that same mistake as me. Because there's literally been people who said I would have actually worked with you, but because you called so early in the morning and woke up my I've called literally almost every single law firm that you can find on Google that's been in operation between 1 and I'd say 7 years. Almost every single one, probably every single one of them, right? That took me over a year to do that. I'd literally wake up in the morning early before my job, call. I had to build up the mental strength to do this over time because it's just I had so much going on, especially at the job that was insanely mentally draining. I had to deal with physical altercations all day, pretty much almost operating like a security guard and mental stuff going on. So, and then just trying to put in as many hours as possible in the business, right? So what happens is it was very mentally straining, but I still got in all the reps, right? And from that experience, I've seen like what I'm saying right now, and I'll get to another example. It's better to not call in the morning if you can find a way to get that situated, right? There's literally been people who like I call in here. It was every state in North America. So like there was when I was getting to like towards the Midwest or South, there was places that when I called them, it woke somebody up at like 4 a.m. But the thing is, the person who they said was so things operate a little bit different there. I'm in the Northeast. There was a receptionist, but the receptionist was supposedly taking a nap and only supposed to take take calls for people in need, right? So, and I'm not knocking them, that's their rules, but I didn't know that calling. I didn't see any of that information on the website, but that's their thing. So for them, the fact that I called when around 6 a.m., but it woke somebody up around 4 a.m. over there. And that person answered completely fine and was nice and everything. And I said, and they sounded tired. And I said, oh, by the way, like, I don't know if I just woke you up, and I know it's probably very early for you, so I just want to apologize. So I was very, trying to be accommodating. So what happens is I got a call back or an email from them telling me to call them back. I think it was 2 days later. So I called them back. I spoke to the same person, but it was during the day, right? I called them back when they told me to. They transferred me to the CEO there. The CEO literally gets me on the phone just to tell me, look, I have a huge problem with the fact that you woke up my my person that I had taking calls at 4 a.m. They were only supposed to be taking calls for people who were in need of help. But I hate how you woke them up just to tell them about marketing. And the thing is, I actually would have worked with you because I need marketing right now, but I'm not going to do it because you woke them up. So sorry, but you shouldn't have done that. And I have a huge problem with that. And bye, have a good day. So they literally had me call them back just to tell me that they would have worked with me, but they weren't going to do it now because I woke up somebody by calling too early. So I literally lost the sale right there. Now, maybe that person wouldn't have been a good fit, but maybe I wouldn't know that. Maybe they're very good when it comes to business, right? And I'm not saying they're not good for having that rule, but like, I didn't know I woke someone up. I knew I was calling early, but I just knew my own scenario. Now, I didn't get to explain my scenario to them, and there wasn't going to be time to do that because they just cussed me out real quick, told me that they would have worked with me, but they didn't like that I called early, and then hung up, right? And that me calling early was the only reason they weren't going to work with me. That was their logic. All right, cool. I'm not going to tell them how to do their business. I'm not going to go and explain that I didn't know I woke someone up and that I really intentionally was trying to be respectful and I'm literally only calling to help them. And I didn't even get to say the part that I was going to offer them a free month of service because that's what I was offering at the time. So if people weren't going to take me at my price, I'd literally offer them a month of free service. Just in exchange for a testimonial on how I did. And then if I did good, I'd offer them a discounted price. I didn't even get to say all that. I could have literally gotten them results for free and then offer them a discounted price. They're usually paying like $1,500 to over $2,000 a month. Some people charging way more because they know they can bring more results and they have testimonials. But I'll charge you like $800 just for giving me a chance to do a free month for you where I get you results, right? Didn't even get to say that because I called too early. So just keep that in mind. Calling too early can be a problem for certain places. And if you start seeing that that's a thing, like you have to take that into consideration in your strategy. So a ton of segue to kind of reiterate that same point. But I did want to say that when I mentioned some of these things that like I'm speaking from experience with all the stuff I'm saying, besides like very, very high level scaling. Like I'm not like a millionaire, but I've experienced scaling before and how it works and the logic behind how to actually do it, where you figure out how to multiply or increase the volume or pump more money into things that are actually going to grow your brand awareness and grow the amount of traffic and grow the amount of conversions if you have a strategy that's converting. So scaling is just basically putting a booster on what's already actually going to get work, right? Putting some type of booster or multiplier on it, right? But yeah, that was from personal experience. Literally lost. I literally lost, but there was another time. Just say this real quick, just to get this point across on how much, like, if you see something's a reoccurring issue, just stop doing it immediately and just find another way. Like if I can't call that number for like the next like month because I don't have a work shift where I had a day off while that place was open, I should have just waited. Like literally there's places I couldn't call because I literally might be working 6 days a week and the only day I have off was a day that they're closed. And I can't call them like during the day because they're already closed so I could maybe leave voicemails when they're not open. But, you know, and that would be kind of more respectable because they see that I called them just after they left the office. So I'd have to rely on that to get that client or just wait until I actually have a day off. Or literally wait until I have taken a vacation. And then even when I wasn't at work, I'd be busy. So I'd be busy sometimes all day where I couldn't actually make that call, right? Literally somehow like things played out like that. But there was another time where I got cussed out. The same place that there was two places that cussed me out in one morning when I was making like 20 calls before going to work, right? So I woke up like maybe an hour earlier and pulled off 20 calls. Certain places I had to call multiple times or whatever because their receptionist didn't pick up. It was fine early in the morning, right? There was one time, and this was very early on in like cold calling, right? After having put in a few months on and off for a few years before I went for a very, very long, like over a year spree. I got cussed out by two places in a row. And then I don't know which place it was. One of the places had either the receptionist or someone from who worked at those places literally started spamming text towards. So when I'm trying to call the next place just to tell them about how I'm going to actually do a month of free marketing for them to get them results. And then if it works out, then we could talk about a lower price. I call places and got cussed out by two places. Now the rest of the places that morning were completely fine. But there was two places, right? One of them, or either both of them, one person from each of them, or maybe two people from one of them texted me from multiple different numbers, or at least two different numbers. And I remember it being more text than that. But multiple people started texting me and saying like, "Hey, stop scamming and get a real job, or saying like, why don't you grow up and put your big boy pants on and stop trying to scam people and get a real job, or just talking trash. Literally, people who, I mean, some of them were saying like, hey, if you call again, we'll call the cops or whatever because you're trying to scam. So people just talking trash, right? I'm reading the messages and just like, all right, I gotta make that. It's, first of all, I already have thick skin from life itself, and I'm used to people threatening in way worse ways than just talking. So it's not really anything. But the thing is, it's just like, yeah, as somebody who's like trying to market, and it's actually especially in the early years, is gonna be nerve wracking to deal with stuff like actually getting on the phone and making a call, whatever. And you're calling with good intentions. You called early in the morning because like how your schedule is, and how you're not going to be able to give them a call, or catch them on the phone, because like the way you work mornings. So, and when you get out of work, they're not open. So you're trying to just find a way to just get the message across that you do want to offer them advertisement services, and you want to talk at a later date. That's a respectful time for them, literally, right? Just make a time for them that works. And what happens is there's people like now texting you and cussing you out via text. So then I remember like after finishing those calls and then finally getting, maybe during my break at work, or after I got out after a crazy long day at work, whatever, then responding to each of those text messages and saying, no, I'm not a scammer, and I'm responding to this text just to increase, the awareness of my business a little bit, so that you understand that I'm not a scammer. So if you want to find out proof that I'm not a scammer, here's my business name, here's my number, here's my email, here's my name. So if you want to call me and address me by name, you can go ahead and do that. And I actually do offer advertisement services. Here's my LinkedIn, here's my social media where I've actually posted about this. Here's my Facebook page where I literally post free consulting advice, and I've been doing this for many months and years. Not consistently, but like you can see that I'm an actual place. I have an actual number. You want to tell me I'm a scammer? All right. Well, if you know this for a fact, show me some proof. But by the way, I don't have any clients yet. So I know you don't have any proof. And by the way, I was going to offer your law firm free marketing, but we couldn't even get to that conversation because I got cussed out, and then I didn't want to use up any of their time. So I just apologized and tried to explain that I was calling before my work shift. So if you want to call me a scammer, you can go right ahead. But if you want to go tell people I'm a scammer, just be careful about that, because if they find out that I'm not a scammer because I just gave you all my personal information so that they can come reach out to me if they need to, they're just going to find out that you're lying and that you're a butthurt sore loser. I didn't say all this, but I basically just said, like, look, I'm giving you all my contact info and my business name, and here's where you can actually find me. And then if you want to come ask me about scamming, I'll tell you that I don't have any clients yet. And you can't find anybody who said I was a client. You can find the people who I call so far and ask them what I said to them on the phone. That's all you can find. And you can find that people even offered to work with me, but they needed to see testimonials first. And I literally told them I don't have any testimonials, so I'll do a month for free for you. So instead of you paying me over $1,000, I'm going to do it for free. So I'm going to pay my own ad runner, and then if we don't get you results, I lose money. And you can even message my ad runner and see if they receive the money, and I'll screenshot and show you I sent them the money, and I'll show you that I put the money in the ads, and I'm literally to report the entire ad campaign. I'm going to take pictures of all the graphs and all the results every single day and send it to them. And I'll show you this as well, and keep out their confidential information, but you can just ask them so that you can know it's them, because that's a confidential thing out of respect for another business. So I'll show you that I offered to give them a free month. They'll tell you that I said this on the phone because I said I couldn't provide any testimonials. So I was trying to give them a free month of service so that they could just give me an honest testimonial about whether I got them results or not. And if they want to say, no, I didn't get them results, they could literally say that, but they can also say that I did it for free. So I literally responding to these text messages, saying all this stuff just so that they can basically just eat their own words. And if they want to text now, one of them tried to message me again. So I laid in more. I said part of that, then I laid in the rest of that information, and they just didn't text me ever again. Because it's just like, if they want to message me again, I'd just be like, oh, so your message, so are you telling me I'm a scammer again, and you failed to actually go look up any of the information about me? And then, by the way, I told you can go call, I'll go contact the other law firms in this area, and if you want, I'll even tell you the ones I contacted, and ask them if somebody called offering services from this advertisement agency, and ask them what I said. So if you don't want to do that, then you're just a sore loser at this point. And unfortunately, now I'm gonna actually block your number because you're telling me I'm a scammer. I'm literally not a scammer, and I gave you proof, and you chose to not use the proof and sent me hate texts, and I don't have time for that in my phone. Like, I only need to see messages from potential buyers. So bye, So like, so that's how I handle it, right? They none of them message back after that because I made them eat their own words. They can, if they want to send any more hate, they gotta now look up who I am and see about what I'm talking about, because they're actually a law firm. And what happens is, maybe there's like a law on hate speech that they're now actually harassing me. That I called and solicited marketing services, but I was clear about what I said. I gave proof and evidence about what I was doing, and I was even respectful to them. And if the call was recorded, it recorded everything I said, and they know that. So there's proof that what I was saying is true, and that a literal law firm has people sending me hate mail. So maybe they realize they're going to be in trouble after that, right? So they had nothing else to say. And then what's funny is, from one of those law firms, it could have been it could have been multiple people or two people from the same law firm where somebody cussed me out. Somebody messaged me back from that law firm saying, "Hi, sorry about the call where there wasn't a resolution made, but we're actually interested in your advertisement services. So please call us back at this number," and blah, 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 right? So literally, a place that cussed me out and had people sending me hate texts, they actually reached back out to me and say that they're actually interested. And I messaged them back and said, like, okay, well, that's fine, but and thank you for messaging back. And thank you for being respectful. I was trying to be respectful as well, and I just wanted to offer help. And I know I called early, so I tried to apologize because of this. And there's a reason why, and I explained that it's because I have work early in the morning, and me running an agency is not a full-time thing for me yet. So that's why I can only do it at certain times, as I have a work schedule as well, and I do have a real job, right? But the thing is, multiple people from where you work were so upset with me that not only did one of the CEOs literally cuss me out on the phone, there was also people from your law firm texting me and sending me certain messages and sending me hate mail and saying I was a scammer. So the thing is, if you still want to work with me, that's fine. Or Muffle, I think I said that's fine, but you need to actually discuss that with the other CEO, and yet you need to discuss that with the people who are messaging me. And if you like, I can send you the messages that they were sending me. I don't know who it was, but you need to be on the same page with them before you work with me, because the last thing I heard from them is that they had a huge problem with me because I called early, and then I was even being sent hate mail. So if you like to work with me, that's fine, but whoever you are, you need to speak with these people at your business and make sure that they're in agreement with that. They might not agree with that after what they said to me, and they didn't apologize or anything. So if you want to work with me, please talk with them first and make sure that you guys are all on the same page, that you actually do want to work with me. And then, yes, I'll work with you. And then they didn't message me back after that, because it was probably the same person messaging from another. So one of the people who was probably sending me hate mail probably messaged me from another number, or somebody who wouldn't have cussed me out, but maybe would have just asked why I was calling early, because there was multiple CEOs, there was multiple people there who were in charge. Well, someone else in charge probably messaged me. They probably seen that I tried to reach out and that I was trying to be respectful, and might have even seen the text. Who knows, right? But they realized, no, we should give this guy a chance. He was even trying to offer us a free month or whatever, and he was being nice, and he didn't call early for no reason. We should give him a chance. So that they reached back. So somebody who was willing to work with me and seeing that I was trying to be respectful called me back But by that point, I'm not trying to. What if I go and start working with you and you didn't tell the other person in charge and they get mad again, and that throws a stone in like what we're doing, right? So I was just saying, just make sure you're on the same page with the rest of your business before we do anything. All that could have been all the segue wasn't even the point of this, but the idea is free business consulting info in general. But all that to just stories, to personal stories I actually had experience with, and there's many more. But just to tell you, when you see something isn't gonna work and it's a consistent thing and there's a reason why that makes sense, just you try to fix it immediately. Don't actually let it happen again, because you can literally lose out on scenarios. I told you about multiple missed sales that I could have made. So my first sale could have happened the first year that I literally went for over a year of making thousands of cold calls. I could have landed a sale. I did not land a sale within that first year, but I could have landed like 3 sales in that first year if I just not called in the morning. That's the whole point. You'd still have to see if, I'm a good fit for them after I tell them the offer and everything. But like, I could have landed those sales literally. Could have just caught them in a better mood or spoken to somebody else who worked there who was in charge of marketing. And then it would have gotten the results and gotten paid, right? So that mistake cost me actually taking off with my advertisement. If I landed those 3 sales and maintained them for like a few months, I could have quit my job already and started doing it full time. And then just you would have seen that the whatever progress and success I made as an agency owner, I would have made that level of progress about 4 years ago, as opposed to it taking a few more years. That's why I reiterate that point more so many times, because it literally took years off of my success, because it's a numbers game, and the numbers game was in my favor if I just kept something in mind, right? Regarding a strategy about what you see you want to do. I wanted to make calls only at that time, so I could have gotten more out of that, right? That's the whole point of that. Let me just continue with what I was saying. So do you attract them publicly? Okay, I did say that. Do you use a mixture of both seeking and attracting? I did speak on that. What I'll say next is, are there social media platforms or forums or places to find contact info that will have more carryover and finding customers who can get value from your offer? I did say that. About collecting data like from even websites like such as the phone and email, and then I just spoke on that as well. So now that just brings me back to continuing on from where I had just left off. All of these things, you have to figure out exactly what is applicable to you, and then you need to start assorting a plan. Okay, so I did say that as well. And then that's when I segued into plans and segued hugely into like it. By the way, if you're doing calling, pay attention to things that aren't working and try to correct them immediately, because it can cost you years. Blah 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 blah. Being funny, right? What I'll say after is, so let's say you found out that your clients are best to reach over the phone and email. Make a phone and email list with many prospects. I said 100, but then keep outside of the 100, because if somebody says no, you take them off the list and you never call them again, or you never email them again. Only they can reach back out to you. You don't want to come across as a spammer, because after they said no, to cancel you sending emails anymore or whatever, because that's how they meant it. You don't want to then come across as a spammer because they already told you no. I literally had scenarios where people said no, and I was looking up more numbers. This was on the phone. I looked up, there was a place that had a completely different name, but it was the same place and it had a different number. And it was a varying location. Or my fault. It was a different location, but this different number I called at a different location with a different name, it transferred the call back to the original place. And this was like the only other time like somebody flipped out. And it was not someone in charge, it was the receptionist. There was times that the receptionist didn't flip out, by the way. when this happened. Like there's times that like so it transferred it back to the a phone that I already called, and the person said I just explained, oh sorry, my fault. And my fault. There was a time they flipped out, then there was a time that they didn't flip out, but I quickly explained something. So a time they flipped out, they said, no, we just said no to you. Please don't call us again or I'm going to call the cops or whatever. And then just hung up on me, right? Because they're just like, why the heck are you calling again, right? After they said no on behalf of whoever was in charge, and whoever was in charge probably said, don't take any marketing calls. We don't need that right now. We're fine. Right. So if I came across spammy on accident because I called a different number at a different location, I didn't know that that was the same business and that whoever was the receptionist at that other building had the call transferred to the original building I already called. Right. There's another time that happened. And then this is me also when I talk about learning how to deal with objections in general, this is like, I quickly learned that instantly. It only took me one time. So next time that ever happened, and I heard this, I could recognize the voice, and I literally tried to call a different place with a different number, but it transferred, but it was in the same city, and it happened to be the same place, right? And I quickly said, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call you again. I was trying to call a completely different number. So I'll just hang up now. Like, I don't want to waste your time. And the person was like, no. So their first answer was, no, it's okay. Like, I understand there's another number. Now the other person that conversation couldn't be had, but this person was fine. And then they were saying, even if you did call again, like it's not a big deal or whatever. Right. So but the thing is, you just want to try and always be ahead where you're aware that even your business's reputation is on the line. Like if you see, let's say I don't care about my personal reputation, right? And that's because I reached a point of not caring at all, to certain levels where that has provided me with freedom and peace in my life to actually go and do what I need to do and succeed the way I need to succeed so that I can now bring myself peace and happiness, right? Or contentness or entertainment or whatever it is I'm trying to do. I had to learn how to just give up on whatever things was getting in the way of that. Like even things such as like worrying what somebody thinks about me. Like now I could sit there and explain to somebody why I'm doing something, and then that could help them understand me, and then they won't think anything. But that could take too long to explain. Maybe that conversation can't happen, and why do I even need to have that conversation? Like, I just need to focus on what I'm doing because it's literally taking so much time and energy and I want it more. I want what I need to get more than I need anybody's acceptance of me. Like, because I need to accept myself. I need to accept the fact that I'm where I want to be financially. I need to accept the fact that I have the fitness gains I want. I need to accept the fact that I have a level of mastery over myself, or I'm well skilled in different things. And during that process, people might not understand, but if they understood I'm doing it for a good reason. I'm actually doing it to help myself and help others. I'm doing it to make my life better so that I can make other people's lives better. Because increase my value, I can now give more to others, right? But they might not understand that, so they could just think whatever, right? But I don't have time to even think of that. I don't have time to even consider that. I don't even have the brain power I don't even think in a manner to even consider that, because what happens is every day I haven't reached the goals. I got to sit here with the results I don't have. And I got to sit there and think about, oh, I wish I had those results. No, I don't have time to even think about, I need to think about what am I doing to get the results, right? Including sleeping good at night to recover and come back and do it again, right? But your business reputation, that matters hugely, because if your business reputation goes down, especially in the beginning, which is why I was responding to those text messages, people might not buy from your business and there might be negative word spread about it. So now even though you could be pumping thousands of dollars into marketing and thousands of hours into marketing and you're not getting sales because there's a bad reputation. So your business reputation, that's one thing that matters no matter what. There's companies that could go so viral that maybe they can't address everything or hate coming towards it, but they've gone so viral and they became so successful that literally if people hate on the company, there's so many people that like the company and still support it financially that company will always exist. but a company should try to avoid any type of negative reputation hits early on, because literally, if your company takes too much of a reputation hit early on, it might never succeed off of that alone. So you might even have something of value and be putting in endless time and effort and money into marketing it. And the only reason you're not getting sales is because all these people are saying bad things about it. So nobody wants to come buy from you. So that's why you don't do that. That's why you don't mess with the reputation of your business. The reputation of yourself, that's up to you. But your business, you can't. Your business is literally going to make you money if it has a good reputation. So if you lose the reputation of your business, you can kiss making money from a business goodbye, and you can now actually deal with the fact that you might have to work a job for the rest of your life because your business will never be able to take off because the reputation is gone. So that you need to protect that, because it's gonna you protect your business reputation, because not because of you personally, but because your business reputation is gonna be the reason that you don't have to work ever again, because you can eventually become a founder who hires another CEO to run it, and then basically you just make money and you don't have to do anything, and that company just makes money forever, and it can pay for your family and all the generations after you, because you made sure it fully grew and became what it needed to be without it dying in the beginning due to a hit on its reputation. Blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure everybody in business would understand that. But reiterating the points about why it's good to fix issues when you see them, right? So, and why I shouldn't have been calling early in the morning, and why I don't care about hate mail, but I address those text messages because that was the number that they heard belongs to my business. So I'm messaging them back saying, I'm not a scammer. If you think I am, send all the evidence as to why I am. Feel free to do that immediately. And literally, if you can find any evidence, I'll just admit it, right? But by the way, I know I'm not, because I never had a client before. And literally go and ask every single person I called. Here's their contact information if you want. Ask all the lawyers I called before you. I told every single one of them that I'd market to them for free. So how could I be a scammer if I'm going to do a free month? And then I literally said, and then after that, we can do a discount. And I literally told them I'm offering the free month because I never had a client before. So good luck figuring out that I'm a scammer. But because you can't find that, I don't have to worry about my business reputation, because I just came. Not only is there enough people actually have heard good things about my business that I'm offering free service and even a discounted price, and I'm honest and literally saying I literally don't have any clients yet, but I just want to do work for you for free, and you know how much it's going to cost, but I'm going to pay that cost and lose money if I lose, and I want an honest testimony. So you only can find people who say good things, that I was willing to offer a lot for free, and I was trying to negotiate on anything that they needed to make it as good of an experience as possible for them. And I was honest about how much experience I had. I could have just came out and said, we already have clients, but we'll offer a month for free. I didn't do that. I said, I don't have any experience, so that's why I'm offering for free. And then they even said they can say I was going to offer discounts. They could say that all these things about me being honest and leaving all my contact information and everything. And if they looked at my contact information in social media, they could see what my face looks like. So good luck ruining my business reputation. You'll never do that, because I'm too thorough. I make sure that it's impossible for you to ever do something like that, because I'd have to become a person who's not responsible and thorough in order for you to be able to do something like that, right? My unthoroughness was calling too early. Too many segues. Let's get back to the point. So I said, are there social media platforms or forums that, okay, I did say it. All the things you have to figure out exactly what's applicable, and then you need to start sorting a plan. I did say that. So I said, you found that your clients are best reached on phone and email. Make a phone and email list with many prospects and figure out the best times to call and start sending emails. Best time to call, which I kind of segued into too much, but now you have all the info on that. Figure out if certain scripts for those calls and emails work better. Testing and trialing different approaches for timeframes, or also doing multiple different approaches in isolation, and see which one gets the best results. Right. There's obviously other variables, like there's just people who were gonna say yes or were gonna say no or were gonna say maybe. So, but just try to do the best math you can on all that, right? So you figure out how you do the different approaches in isolation, so you can figure out how they actually perform via repeatedly seeing how each approach performs by itself, so you can evaluate what's working better, what's getting people to open emails and respond at all as opposed to not responding, and what's getting people to say maybe instead of no. What's getting more yes? What's getting a yes, or what's getting a I want to know more. So they just at least want to hear more about what you have to say, or what's saying, or yes, let's talk about it, right? What's getting people to say I want to learn more on the phone? What objections are they having, and are you paying attention to when and okay, what objections are they having, and what are you paying attention to when and why the objections show up? So what things might be you be saying that could possibly be triggering them to say that, or what things have you not said, but you'd figure that out with experience, right? You have to actually put in the repetitions and just get a whole bunch of data to work with to actually begin to even think about these things, or ideas can pop in your head, right? But you need actual exposure to what's happening based on what you're saying to begin formulating some of those strategies. What objections show up, and so you can address it before it happens. And then when you actually figure out why the objections, or when and why, you can address it before it happens. Just like when I was referring to in the segue, which is actually relevant now. I said the next time I called a different place and it somehow transferred me to a place I already called. And the last time that happened, they threatened to call the cops on me, and then just hung up. Didn't even allow me to explain why that I tried to call somewhere else and got transferred back, and I wasn't trying to actually spam them with calls, right? Spam them, call them back, hoping for a different person to pick up the phone that will hopefully transfer me. No, I wasn't doing that. I was trying to call a different place, right? But what happens is, the next place before they could even say anything, I was like, hey, by the way, sorry, I'm going to hang up, and that was my fault for calling you guys again. I didn't mean to do that. I tried to actually call a different place, and I can even tell you the number I called. I just didn't know that it was going to transfer me back to you again. So I'm sorry to take up your time with this call. And then they're just saying, no, it's cool. Like, it's no problem. And, they're even saying it wasn't even a big deal, right? But I'm already trying to address, like, whatever. Or when I'm calling early, I'm starting to open with, I know I'm calling early, by the way, and I don't want to take up any of your time. I do want to let you know that I do marketing, and that if you're interested, if we can schedule a better time that we can talk about this. And then they can then tell me if they want to actually talk now. But it's also me actually trying to get to work on time, and probably had 15 more calls to make before I even went to work within an hour. So that's part of the reason I was saying that. But if they actually wanted to talk, then I'd actually talk to them right then, out of respect for their time as well. If they want to address it right then I'd actually pitch to them right then. And that's happened a few times. Didn't maybe get the full pitch out, but got a little bit more into like what I was going to offer them, right? Before they said no, or maybe, but we'll take down your information and get back to you maybe within the next few months, because we have like a bunch of other marketing agencies and people who run ads by themselves who offered us as well. But like I open up saying like, by the way, I know it's early, and I am my fault. I got to the point where I was saying like, when let's say the wording that they use right out the gate is, okay, why are you calling, Andrew? or they say, who is this and why are you calling? I'd say, so my name is Andrew Henry, and I do want to let you know, by the way, that I am soliciting marketing services, and I'm aware that it's early in the morning, so this might not be the best time. So I was just wanted to let you guys know that this is what I do, and that if you are interested, maybe we could talk. We could talk at a better time. So I was opening my call saying that based on the wording. I literally, so before they could ask, there's a bunch of people that they were even nice and said, why are you soliciting marketing services at this time? Is there a reason why? And I just say, oh, it's because I do work early and I'm doing it before my morning shift. But at the same time, I meant no disrespect at all by that. But instead, before they could even say that, I was saying, but I just want to let you know that, so I'm Andrew Henry, and I'm by the way, I am soliciting marketing services, and I don't want to use up any of your time, to be respectful, because I know it's early. So if you are interested in marketing at all online, like maybe we could talk at a better time, and we don't have to even schedule a time right now. Like I can give you my cell phone number and email so that you can tell me like a good time for you. So I open up with that and get much better responses. But and then there's even times I open with that and didn't, but that opening with that caused a lot. There was a lot of people that they could have maybe not responded badly or angrily, but they could have responded like, as in like, well, that there's people where they were nice about it, but they're like, hey, the morning's not the best time, just a tip, like if you call in the morning, like, that's not really a good idea like they were kind of like letting me know, like, the morning's not the time to do this. Like, so, but I'm addressing that before they even say it. And then if they ask why, I say, by the way, there's a reason why I was doing that. And again, I meant no disrespect by that. So that would actually that would get me there's people who might have already were going to say maybe, but there's people who was probably giving me maybes because I actually opened up with that. Right. So that got my foot in the door to actually try and sell them further at some later date. If that ever happened, there's people who just never got back to me after that, but it was at least a maybe instead of a no. So I'm figuring out ways to get better results, right? By adapting to what's going on. So back to this point after that, after that next segue. So I said you're addressing the objections, so you can address the objections before they even happen. And then the next thing I said is if they already have someone doing it for them, that's an assumption I'm saying. What type of results are they getting, and can you explain or even prove that you can do better? Obviously, you would have to run mock campaigns or actually have experience with other people where you can actually show that you actually got the results. So you either have to literally set up a campaign where you actually got results for them, and then maybe you sent the customers their money back and said, oh, we didn't need, we're not available, whatever. But just to show that you can show on graphs that you actually got people to convert through an ad campaign, or you actually have past experience doing it. And yet it's going to cost money either way from you. Unless the past client paid. But if you do it yourself, it's going to cost you your own money to actually run a campaign that gets results, so that you can now show that as a case study, right? Okay, let me just find where I was. Sorry about that. Okay, so all right. So I said, so yeah. So basically, I said, yeah. So you're saying that you can show them proof that you can do better than who they're currently with. You can ask them like, how much are they paying? Like, you can offer a lower price. And then, yeah. So, okay. So I said, you can show and prove that you can explain and improve how you're going to do better. The proof would be like screenshots of you showing the graphs, that you actually do get the results. And you can maybe even show that you get more than who they're working with. and maybe even charge less while doing better. So you make yourself like a undeniably better option. They just have to see that you actually could give them the results that you shown on the graph. So, but you just have now so much more leverage that they're gonna pay less for more results with you, right? Why would they not just tell the other person that they're gonna take a break from them after that contract and then just be with you, or just drop them immediately? Because maybe the people they're with right now, we're considering dropping them, but they didn't yet because they were just waiting the rest of the contract out, while not really happy with the results. There's literally people who've said that on the phone to me, that they said call back in a week because we have other people who want to work with us, but the people we're working with right now, they're not doing so well, and we're going to drop them early next week. So there's literally people that call me in a week, and literally said that. So, all right, so maybe you charge less less money while doing better. And are there any guarantees you can offer that your competitor can't? Right. So I'm talking about the things that they aren't doing. Can you do those things? Maybe they ask the competitors for updates on what's going on, and the competitors don't actually send them when they're supposed to be sent, or send them as often. Like, oh, I want screenshots of what the graph show, and well, you just do that. Or when we message you, answer back within 24 hours. And the competitor doesn't do that, you do it. You can literally ask them what things were they not doing well, and then you just make sure that you do those things, so that now you're just that much harder. Now if they get other offers, even that people better prices who claim better results, they might just want to stick to you because you're just solving so many things that they need, because you showed up and you're doing all the things that was bothering them. So now they're not bothered and they're getting results. So they might just want to stay with you rather than gamble with somebody else who might even get slightly better results, but they might bring more headache because they're not doing it exactly the way that the company wants. They're not creating enough peace of mind with showing that they're not any type of liability, even if it's extra time. Oh, I messaged them, they didn't even get back to me for days, and I'm wondering, and I need to know because it's gonna cost me money if I can't know this. But you just answer back within the same day and save them money and save them headache, on top of all the other things you have to think of. Like, now you're making yourself very hard to replace because you're cookie cutter exactly what they need. So now they actually want to pay you rather than pay somebody else. They want to put their money where the money is actually providing them peace and comfort and growth. So how can you do that better than your competitors, right? All right, so basically I said offer what your competitor can't. Are there things that they don't like that their competitor is doing that you can fix for them? Is there any convenience you can bring? Being able to speak on these things can get you from hearing a no or things, but we are covered and not interested, or not in need right now. And you could bring that all the way to all right, we can get you on. We cannot get you on yet, but we want to learn more, and we will give you a chance, or / a trial to do better than them. Or you can call us back at this time, and we will put you on after this contract to show us that you can do this for us. And I just explained that. Or you might get we are about to drop them after this anyways, but you sound like you can do well, and we will have you on next. Call back, and then they would say like call back at this time, or email us here and we will schedule it. End of quote. And even so another thing they might say is, oh, all right, we will put you on, and see if you can do what we have in our if you can do what we have in your own campaign. So these are things I've heard before. So I'm just quoting things I've heard people say out of the many things I've heard people say in general. Whether that was a no or a yes, I'm giving you just giving you positive signs of like things you could hear other than a no, because you're addressing so many things and improving your results by like trying to literally structure your offer better, right? And even handling objections before they even appear. And so next thing I'll say is a lot of these examples are what you could hear from running an ad agency, but it's similar sounding regardless. If you're selling a product, is yours is your product higher quality, or is it cheaper for the same or higher quality? So people are just like, oh wow, I'm spending less to get the same thing or even more. Um, sure, we will take yours instead. Or for example, if you have a service, um, people might say things like, oh wow, like you can do this in less time with higher convenience and better pricing and more value. Oh, I'll come to you more often, or consider you first from now on. Let's say, like, for example, is it ads? Um, what ads? What ad sets are working best? Is it social? Is it social media? What platform has more people to reach? How easy are they to be able to send a message to? If you post content, how easily can it go viral to any extent if you keep posting it, and using a growth strategy on that platform? How can you find the customers? Can you find them at high or increasingly higher volumes over time without, increasingly over time with any type of momentum on the platform? Um, and are you sure you can deliver the product or service? Do you hire experts to help you deliver? And I put in parentheses, you should as okay, you should as value they bring, is literally why the customers get what they need and pay for your product and service over any competitors, other than the marketing that actually successfully gets them to even show up and hear the offer. And what is your pricing? Is it reasonable for what you are offering? Next thing I said is figure out all these things and then get started on the marketing. If you want results, start on the marketing. Okay. Want results faster? Figure out how you can market at a higher volume, as more eyeballs on your offer and more brand awareness makes it easier for any potential buyers to see. You offer it makes it easier for more potential buyers to see your offer and even have an opportunity to buy and receive the value that you offer. More volume can mean more time spent by you, more money spent on ads, and also more automation and outsourcing tasks, delegation, if or even any at all if you don't have any, because now you're at least spreading it to more humans helping you, right? Of marketing, or even AI helping you, right? Of marketing to more people, so it's more people and also more money on ads and more ad campaigns or more ad sets, etc. Whatever the most high converting method you can find is, you could, for example, take 5,000 emails to get one or two high ticket sales, for example, $2,000 each, right? But it may take you many hours to send all those emails, and even date, like if you don't have an email like sender, right? Like probably something you have to pay and subscribe to send email blasts, right? And even days or weeks to send all those emails, as you might not be sending to 5,000 different potential customers in the time frame. You might be sending 5,000 emails to over 1,000 different people. Some of those people are saying no after the first email, and some of those people are not answering. So you email them again 3 to 5 days later, rinse and repeat until they say no. And some people send over 15 to 20 emails and they never answer. Some people you will send you will send 15 to 20 plus emails and they will never answer, with the 3 to 5 day wait times. And some people open your email within 2 to 10 emails and say yes if they are interested, and then you get them you get them through follow-up emails into a sale, or they stop responding after 2 to 5 emails of you bringing them through the funnel before making the deal, before the deal is sealed, right? And then I put in parentheses, maybe you lost them to a competitor. um and then end of parentheses, and I said maybe less than 2 to 5% of the people open the first email and say yes. And then I said, okay, so I said maybe less than 2 to 5% people open the first email saying yes out of literally 5,000 emails through that entire phase. Over time, you figure out titles that causes more people to open emails, and you figure out better messaging to get them to answer you, and figure out how to funnel better to get them through the offer into buying from you. So over time, it's taking less than 5,000 emails to make $2,000, closer to maybe even 1,000 or hundreds of emails. And eventually you have stable clients and even referrals paying you weekly and monthly. So you don't even need to keep sending emails out as much anymore, or maybe your full capacity. So now you don't even market unless you lose a client, or you just do the math and know that maybe there's clients who won't need you anymore, but maybe they'll need you again. So you just budget your money so that maybe you'll just wait for them to come back again, because maybe that's really your only full capacity, right? But you'll just get so many. Sending 5,000 emails is not a thing for you anymore with that specific thing you're doing, and the thing you're trying to market, right? Or the service or product you're trying to market via email is not taking 5,000 emails to make $2,000. It's taking maybe hundreds when you're doing a lot better, right? And even less than that, the better you are. Maybe it gets to the point where there's people just coming to you now. Who knows, right? With reoccurring clients that stay with you, right? AKA the future gets brighter. But you have to build to that, right? So basically, you're getting so much that you don't even need to keep sending out emails much anymore, unless you want to expand more. Unless you want to expand to more clients, and probably start outsourcing the extra work to new hirees and growing your business. So then that's when you get to the point where you now can hire people to help you, and then just become something that, you're just now making so much money you can even just start scaling by hiring more workers to handle more work, because now you're actually getting the more work, or you can hire people to help you market for more work, or you can run ads to get more work, right? So now you can get into a scaling realm where now money's not the issue. It's just, if there is an issue, it's really just about how much you want to grow it, and did you decide on what you want to use to actually successfully grow it more, so that now the entire business is pulling in way more. This means you have to be responsible for way more things, right? Unless you hire somebody to handle all that and pay them a lot, but then you can now be paid a ton for not really having to do anything anymore, because you've now fully automated everything. Blah blah blah. Just another segue. So let's start outsourcing the extra work to new hirees and growing your business, but it's only going to take time to hit those. It's going to take time to hit those high volume numbers, and it is going to take time after you have everything in place so that you can even start emailing people who are potential buyers about something you can offer them. And it's going to take time. Not sure why I said that. Whole sentence could have been like a typo, or it could have related to what I said right before, but I'm just going to continue on. Video's over an hour now, so I'm just trying to wrap it up a little bit, as there's a lot. And it's going to take time to get better at selling to them. Okay, I'm talking about in general how it's going to take time to get to those later points I just spoke about. So yeah, I said it's going to take time about certain things in order. Just mentioned it's going to take time to get better at selling to them. So getting them through the funnel, to the point until the point where you have taken it so far that you don't even have to market anymore. So I was talking, that's the later scaling point. You've scaled so much you don't even have to market anymore, right? And you have a steady flow of customers as long as you keep the business running. So as long as there's workers showing up every day, or you're showing up to at least do the work, the business continues running, because people are saying, hey, knock knock, I'm emailing this business, can you guys help me with such and such? I know you're in existence, you just did it for us last month, or we were referred to you. Is there someone there who can help me? And then you just answer and say, oh yes, I can. Yep. So let's talk about the project I can do for you. And then as long as you keep showing up and say, or you pay someone to keep showing up and answering the people who said, oh yeah, we want to pay you so you can do this for us. As long as that someone keeps showing up and saying, oh yes, well, here's a Venmo or here's a PayPal address and send the money over and we'll get started. As long as someone keeps showing up and doing that, and then you keep bringing them the value, then you'll just keep making money, right? Whether it's you or someone else at that point. You make it you, it gives you something to do, because you're probably making so much money at that point that you literally could be bored if you don't have hobbies or anything else outside of it. So maybe because you're not gonna work ever again because you're making so much money, that what's the point? You might as well make that like a 9 to 5 thing, that you just show up and still answer email and make money. So you're just self-employed. And then you could just take very long vacations and hire other people if you ever feel like it. It just gives you something to do. But you will if you keep it running. You scale it that far and you at least keep it running. So somebody showing up to deliver the value and receive the money for your business, then it's going to keep going. But it starts with, you could be sending out 5,000 or even 10,000 or 20,000 emails and getting no response. It could start like that. It could start like an endless grind that you don't see is going anywhere, before you can finally climb to the stages of, now is people emailing you, asking you if they can send you the money so you can do things for them that they know that you can do. And then you have to just make sure you answer that message or whatever, because then they might get upset and be like, hey, why aren't you responding? I'm trying to send you money so you can do this for me. Right? Just being funny about like how it's just so extreme how you can go through the years of grinding so hard and seeing nothing, and then it gets to the point where now people are finding you and trying to send you money and saying, can you please do this for me? I know you can do it, because they already heard that you can, and you've already worked with them before. It's just such a contrasting thing, and how much you have to go through to get to that other side. Unless you're one of the lucky people that you just, the first time you try to send an email, the person picks up and says yes. Or maybe you make a bunch of sales your first week. I don't know, right? Blah, blah, blah. Continue. So anyways, it's figure out the piece of the puzzle and start marketing. Figure out the pieces to the puzzle and start marketing, and then increase how much marketing is happening if you can, in order to position yourself into being able to find that first customer, the first first sale faster. As it is about how much distance you can cover, you can cover sooner. It's about how much distance you can cover sooner. How many more eyeballs, how many more businesses actually open the email even if they miss a whole bunch? How many businesses did you call on the phone? How many customers saw from the advertisement and saw it, even the ad, multiple times? Or maybe they saw it and decided to buy now, or saw it and said, when I have the money, I'll buy that. Or, hey, I'm going to get that at some later point. And maybe they forgot about it, but then they saw another ad that reminded them and they buy it like a month or a week later, right? I don't know, right? But you get there sooner by, you had to do further marketing. That ad might have had to be running for another month for that person to see the ad again and just be like, oh, I didn't buy the hoodie from that clothing brand yet. And then now they make the purchase. But they already decided they want to do it and bookmark the page of the one they wanted, but they had to see the ad again a month later. Or there's people that, like, that stuff looks cool, but I'm just sliding through clothes. And then they see that the posts from that brand, or they see the ads running for like the next few weeks, and they seen like they just seen it advertised more. They seen some ambassadors wearing it. Oh, that's really cool merch. I should actually get one. They said the quality is really nice. It's comfy. Oh, let me go see for myself. Like the ad, you might have had to blow a few more $100 or $1,000 for the ad to keep going for them to buy it as well. And then they tell people that this is very high quality and is very nice. Oh, and look, the presence is growing. Like that's actually it's actually a pretty big brand. Like there's a lot of people who are buying their stuff now, and then all their friends go and buy the merch as well. And maybe that took months, but now there's more people buying, and there's more people doing that around the world, or more people like, oh, I like positivity, like because I have a positivity niche, or I like that niche, or I like those colors. But they had to see ads, or they had to see posts, and you had to keep posting for months and blowing money on ads for months. But then now it's like more and more people are buying, and then more and more people are buying because their friends are buying, and more people are seeing like, oh, there's a lot of people wearing that. That's like the popular thing, like Nike. Maybe not the level of Nike yet. Could be, who knows. But like that's cool. I like how that looks, and I like the ideas it has, and maybe they're not saying this out loud, but in their mind, I'd fit in wearing that because everyone else is wearing it. And now there's a ton of people just buying it because, that's just what people buy. People just buy Nike shoes. People just buy hoodies with like a Nike logo on it. People also just buy hoodies from this brand or whatever. Who are into people in fitness buy hoodies from this brand. People who are into like just lifestyle of this type or that type will just buy hoodies and t-shirts of this brand, and the designs are so then now you're just making like, now you went from making like a few sales a month to you're making, by the time people are saying like, oh yeah, the people just buy stuff from that brand and that niche, like it does look good, by the way, as well. But yeah, that's just what people get when people start saying that. Then you're making like 50 grand a month. But you know how many months of ads and how many months of organic posting you did before it's now picked up that much traction, and the SEO on Google rings your brand first in that niche, right? So it takes time. So let me just continue real quick. I said anyways, to figure it out, excuse me, I said anyways, it's figure out the piece of the puzzle and start marketing, and then increase how much marketing is happening if you can, in order to position yourself into being able to find that first customer, first sale faster. I did say that, as it's about how much distance you can cover sooner. More eyeballs and more brains being aware that you exist means more brand awareness to any potential customer, and even word of mouth spreading the awareness. So basically kind of what I just segued into as well. And once people are aware, they can learn more and have the choice to buy from you. Just make sure you can deliver when they show up, so you can when they show up, so they can give a good review, or slash have good things to say, leading them coming back for more value you brought them, and their positive reviews bringing in more customers or even referrals, etc. So that's just to wrap up my free business info for today. So what I'll say is, I hope that helps you. Also, I do marketing on social media and online in general. I even do Google Ads. You can find me on Facebook. My link is in my bio on YouTube, and you can just feel free to add me and send me a friend request, and send me a message saying that you're interested in my internet marketing services. I run an advertisement agency, and so if you tell me you're interested, whether it's on in the DMs, or if you want it in an email, or if you want to call, whatever, and I'll just, whatever it is you want to do, I will tell you exactly what we can do to give you results, and then you can just tell us, you can just decide whether that's going to be a good fit for you or not, right? So you just let me know if you're interested in internet marketing. I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do, like the plan of what we're going to do and why it works. because it's something that does work. And then you can just decide if we're a good fit or not, or maybe you don't want to work with us now, maybe later, or but we also I post the paragraphs. I was trying to do it daily, and I was doing that for a while on and off, but it's weekly. So I post free business consulting info at least on a weekly basis there. And just like I'm repurposing some of it here. So if you even want to get access to more of that free info, that can help you, so that, you might not even need the ads. You can just use the tips. I'm just trying to offer free value. And then if you see free value from what I'm literally offering for free, if you see good results from it, or if it's helping you and you trust me, we can offer more as well. And I can explain to you what exactly we'll do. And then we'll just help you get those results as well, through actual further internet marketing, which is paid ads, right? So I hope this was helpful for you. And if you're interested, feel free to let me know. You can find me again at the link in bio, on YouTube. And I hope this free business consulting info helped you, and have a great day.